Okay, so there's a picture that is going around Facebook, it's going WhatsApp. I think this picture has to do with the tax bands for 2024. And I think I've observed there are a number of calculations going around. People complaining, no, Zambian tax is just too high. In as much as the Zambian tax is high, I think you're just not computing the taxes correctly. So I thought I'd just do a short video on how you can compute how much tax you're going to pay. So if, for example, you see that 37%, which is the last band, that doesn't mean if you get 10,000 kwacha, you hammer 37% on the 10,000 kwacha. I think you're not being fair to yourself. So let me show you how to uh, go about calculating those taxes. Um, so the picture that I'm talking about is uh yeah, so let me just show you. So the picture I'm talking about is this. I'm sure you've seen this picture going around. So let me show you how these things are done. This is the pay-as-you-earn tax bands. So pay-as-you-earn in a nutshell is uh, a progressive tax. So pay-as-you-earn is a progressive tax. So in Zambia, what that means, or even across the globe, is when you have a progressive tax, those that earn more will actually contribute more as compared to those that earn less. So those that earn more income contribute taxes more in relative to those that are low income earners. So that's what the progressive tax system is. So if someone gets 15,000 kwacha, um, and there's another one that gets 45,000 kwacha, the amount of tax in terms of the quantum that you're going to contribute to the government will be different, but it is fair because the rates are standard. So it is a progressive way of calculating taxes. So let's get to that. So when you look at this picture, you've got the income bands. So this is per month, and then you've got the tax rates. Okay. So someone who earns a one kwacha uh, to 5,100 in 2024, you'll be taxed at 0%. Okay. Um, I think for me, I like moving away from the word tax free. You are taxed at 0%. So the 5,100 is still taxed, except it's taxed at 0%. Okay, so now the next, so if you see there's 5,101 to 7,100, or say on one. When you say 7,100 minus 5,100, what you're getting is about 2,000 kwacha. Okay. So you're getting a difference of 2,000 kwacha. So what that means is from the income that you get, you need to remove the 5,100, which is taxed at 0%. Then the balance that you get, you need to now say 7,100 minus 5,1, you get the 2,000. That means that 2,000, the next 2,000 after 5,100 will be taxed at 20%. Okay? And then when you again move from 7,100 to 9,200, you find that there's a difference of a 2,100. So the third 2,100, you are going to tax it at 30%. Okay. Then now from your total earnings, the balance. Okay, so the balance, if the balance exceeds 9,200, then what you're saying is anything above 9,200 has to be taxed at the last band, which is 37%. Okay, so that's how you calculate your taxes. So now to put it into context, allow me to demonstrate this calculation. I'm going to use, I think, about two scenarios, and then we see how we can compute how much tax you're going to pay to the authorities. All right, so let's get to our all right. So ignore those things that all right. Okay, so we are going to use some scenarios. So the first scenario is scenario of John. Okay, John earns a monthly salary of 5,000. So for John, so John has a monthly salary of um monthly salary kwa John is paid uh, 5,100. Okay. All right. So John is paid 5,100. Okay. Um, okay, so let's do this. John is paid a 4,000 kwacha. Wow, Monica is paid a 5,700. Then Chkumbuso is paid 8,000 kwacha. So this is Chkumbuso. Chkumbuso is paid 8,500 kwacha. And then we have Masauso. Masauso was paid Masauso is paid at 12,000 kwacha. And then we have Mavuto. Mavuto was paid 65,000 kwacha monthly. Okay, so these are the monthly salaries that we are going to use to demonstrate or to calculate the taxes correctly. Okay, so now that is the monthly salary. So remember for 2024, there's that 5,000 which is taxed at zero. So what you're going to do is you say um, okay, I don't want to less because if I less, then I'm validating the other point. So now let's say tax computation, tax computation. We're going to show that. So tax computation. So what we are saying is the first 5,100. First 5,100. Allow me to insert another column just there. Sorry, just insert another column there. All right. So we are saying, and then here is the rate. Okay. Here is the tax rate. Okay, so we are saying the first 5,100 in 2024 is taxed at 0%. Okay. And then remember, I did illustrate how you calculate how the 2,000 is coming about when you look at those bands. So the next 2,000, watch. We are saying the next 2,000 kwacha. The next 2,000 kwacha is taxed at 20%. And then the third 2,100 is taxed at 30%. Okay. And then that's anything above 9,200. The balance will be taxed at 37. Okay, 37%. So now let's get started. I told you the first 5,100 is taxed at zero, meaning you get that money as it is. So it is more like you are not going to pay tax on it. So what you do is from your earnings, the earnings that you make from your salary, you need to subtract that 5,100. The government is giving it back to you without any tax on it. So you subtract it from your total earnings, okay? For that particular month. So when you look at John gets 4,100. So it will be illogical for you to even subtract it. What that suggests is that for John who's getting 5,000, for John who's getting 4,000, and the government has given him a 5,100 as take-home income, which is not subject to tax, there's no need for you to subtract. So John doesn't pay tax. So John is not going to pay any tax on that 4,000 kwacha. He's going to get that 4,000 kwacha and take it home. Maybe the only things that 4,000 kwacha is going to suffer are NEMA payments and NAPSA payments. That's all. But for tax purposes, the 4,000 is not going to be taxed because it is below the tax threshold that is exempt from tax, right? So that is the scenario for John. So we can say tax payable. Tax payable. I've explained for John. So tax payable for John is new. All right. So 0 there. We go to Monica. All right. So for Monica, what have we said? For Monica, what we are saying is this. 5,700 is what Monica gets from her employer. So remember, Monica has been given 5,100, which she must take home. And that 5,100 is not subject to tax. All right. So what does this mean? So the first 5,100 will be taxed at 0%. So the tax that Monica is going to get is see 5,100 multiplied by 0%, which gives you 0. Okay. So Monica is not going to pay any tax on the 5,100. Okay. So now sorry, I put this. Let me just drag it there. Okay, so now let's follow this through. So Monica is not going to pay on the 5,100. But look, Monica earns 5,700, which is 600 kwacha higher than the tax-free threshold. So meaning there's a balance of 600 kwacha. Okay. So the next 2,000. So the 600 kwacha falls into the next 2,000, and that is the last income that Monica is having. It's not above the 9,200. It's not above the 7,100. But the 600 falls within 2,000, the next 2,000. So now what this means is that 600 kwacha is the balance in this case. Okay. It is the balance. So you are not going to tax it at 37%. It doesn't fall. It is not above 9,200. So what I'm going to do here, that's 600 kwacha. After you remove the 5,100, you're going to say 600 kwacha multiply by this rate, 20%. Okay, applied 20%. So this means that the tax that Monica is going to pay is the summation of the taxes that we've calculated there. So it's a sum of these. Okay. The tax that Monica is going to pay on her salary is 120. Let's go to the other scenario. Skumbuso. Skumbuso earns 8,500. Okay. So equally, For Chikumbuso, the first 5,100 will be taxed at 0%. So now from 8,500, let's remove 5,100. We are remaining with 3,400. Okay? 3,400, we need to remove the 2,000, the next 2,000. So the next 2,000 for the next 2,000 for Chikumbuso, we need to put it there to say 2,000 kwacha multiplied by 20%, by 20% there. So it's going to 400 on the next on the next 2,000. All right. Remember, the balance was 3,400. When you remove a 2,000, meaning you're remaining with a 1,400. So that 1,400, you now subject it to 30%. It has not exceeded 9,200. That is the catch thing. So there, get the 1,400, multiply it, 1,400, multiply that by 30%, okay? Multiply by 30%. And then there we're now going to have a 420, okay? So equally there, the tax payable is 400 and 420. You're not going to apply that 37% anywhere because it doesn't exceed that threshold that has been given. Okay, let's go to Masaos. Masaos, the same treatment. The first 5,100 is taxed at 0%. So if you get 12,000 kwacha, remove 5,100. So the assessable income is 6,900. So on that, remove the first 2,000. So first 2,000, subject it at, so, oops, equals 2,000 at 20%, 400, okay? 400. Then you are remaining with 4,900. From the 4,900, you tax the 2,100, okay? So you're saying 2,100 times 30%. So now, in the 4,900 minus 21, you are remaining with a 2,800. So the 2,800 this time around has taken you to the last band. This has not been taxed. So now this one is going to be taxed at 37%. So that's where now you're going to say 2,800, okay? 2,800, tax it at 37, the last band. Okay, so that's how you go about that. And then now let's get to tax mavuto. That is the highest income earner in this case. So equally, the first 2,000 will be a 400 kwacha. So the first 2,000, remove the first 5,100, get it off from there. Then what you're going to do is tax the 2,000 at 20%. Then you also go and tax the 2,100. You tax it at 2,100. You tax it at 30%. 630. Okay. All right. So you're saying now from Mavuto 65,000, all right, 65,000, remove 5,100, you are remaining with 59. Remove the 2,000, you are remaining with 57,900. Then you've taxed it minus 2,100. You are remaining with a balance of 55,800. Okay. So the 55,800 is going to be taxed at 7%. 55,800 multiplied by that 37. Okay. All right. So from these calculations, colleagues, you have learned that these are the tax payable. This is the tax payable for each individual there. And I think I've illustrated some forms there. You can see putting this. If it was one, I would have said those things. But this is how you calculate, not the way you were calculating. Okay, so you're going to be unfair on yourself and you're going to blame a lot of people for wrong calculations. So this is how you calculate. So now you can see that for the one that gets 4,000 doesn't pay tax to ZRA. They're going to pay NAPSA, they're going to pay NEMA. But tax, they're not going to pay because it's below the threshold. Then we've got Monica. Monica gets 5,700. We've seen that the first 5,100 is taxed at 0%, meaning she's going to get that money. And then the 120 is the tax that she's going to pay on the remainder. And the rate that has been used is at 20%. Okay. And then you have to go to Chikumbuso. Chikumbuso gets 8,500. And the first 0, then she's going to pay a tax of 820 on the income of 8,500. Then for Masauso, who earns 12,000, Masauso will pay 2,066 kwacha out of the income of 12,000. Then Mavuto, who earns 65,000 kwacha, Mavuto is going to pay 21,676 on his income of 65,000 kwacha. All right, so this basically is how you calculate success. So now, so if I was doing a column, more like I was putting it in different columns just for me to show the differences in the taxes. So you can see that tax is progressive, okay? So the tax payable is progressive depending on the income that you are earning, that is pay as you earn. That's what it means by progressive tax. So a pay as you earn is a progressive tax in Zambia. So now, for you that for the people now that would want to go and try this now, I'm going to do another scenario here, the last one, quickly. Let's do a scenario for a man named Mudenda. Mudenda is the man for the night. So we are saying Mudenda earns 120,000 kwacha per month. Okay. Mudenda earns 120 kwacha, 120,000 kwacha per month. That is his monthly salary. So the assumption here is that this monthly salary is a total of all your earnings. So that's the assumption I'm making here. So I'm assuming you've got your bonuses in that, you've got your whatever you're going. So it's the total, the aggregate. So just for this calculation, so we are assuming it's the aggregate. So aggregate salary income for this man, this Mudenda is 120. So we're going to say tax computations. Tax computation. Tax computation. So that one and just copy those here. So now let's put this into context on one person. Okay. So now what I'm saying is this one is, so these are the tax rates there. We are saying the first 5,100 will be taxed at 0. Okay, be taxed at 0. So that's tax to be paid there. Then the 2,000, the next 2,000 will be taxed at 20%. The third 2,100 will be taxed at 30%. Then the balance will be taxed at 37%. So now how do we get the balance? And I'm going to write the balance there. The balance, how do we write the balance? So 120,000, remove the 5,100. 120,000 minus 5,100, we are remaining with 114,900. Watch. Remember, the next 2,000 is taxed at 20, so remove the next 2,000. Then the third 2,100 is taxed at 30. Remove the next 2,100. So what you are remaining with, the balance that will be taxed at 37% is 110,800. So 110,800 will be taxed at 37%. All right. So tax payable by Mudenda. Tax payable by Mudenda is summation of these taxes. Okay. Okay. So that is the total tax that Mudenda is going to pay to ZRA, or rather, this is how much Mudenda is going to contribute to the National Treasury. So if Mudenda complains about wasting taxpayers' money, this is what he is referring to. Okay. He complains about theft and how these politicians are stealing and all those things, how funds are misused in government institutions. For us that are paid from taxpayers' money, the attitude that we get to portray. This is what they refer to when they say taxpayers' money, are wasting taxpayers' money. Look at how much Mudenda is contributing to the National Treasury out of his hard-earned income. So you expect good service, you expect a good delivery of services from you. So basically, this is how you calculate your taxes and not the way you were calculating. So if you be following me, you can now go and get your salary for January and follow through and calculate your own taxes. If it's so very difficult, go on the ZRA website. You're going to find the calculator and you can use it. But I thought I should share this with you. Thank you so much and good night.